Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is our morning update. This morning we have an article about Sarah Ferguson, who came out swinging in defense of Prince Andrew. So we all know that Fergie had Jeffrey Epstein pay some of her loans off. We all know that Fergie used to hang out with Epstein as well as Andrew. We all know that Fergie had a relationship with Epstein. So what exactly is Fergie doing? I understand that this is your ex-husband. I understand that you want to think that the father of your children isn't the monster that he's being made out to be. But at some point, you need to step back and realize you have been a huge, gigantic enabler. Now think about when your daughters were that age. And think about how you would feel if somebody did that to your daughters, Fergie. So we have a situation here where we have someone like Fergie coming out, going swinging for the fences, defending Prince Andrew, talk about a captain going down with her ship. Her whole entire future, the future of her children, rides with Andrew. So if you don't think that she's going to come out swinging to defend this sick pervert, well, I don't know what to tell you, because at the end of the day, it's at the point where it's self-preservation for these people. They all know that the royals are not going to be there to protect them, obviously, considering what's going on with Andrew. So Fergie understands that it's about self-preservation at this point. If Prince Andrew goes down, she goes down, and the fortunes of her daughters ride on the back of Prince Andrew. And as unfortunate as that is for her daughters, Princess Bee and Princess Eugenie, well, these are the things that happen in life when your father or your mother or the person that has made you famous, basically, ends up in trouble. There's fallout. And look, I don't want to see Prince Andrew's daughters have any, unnecessary sadness in their lives or anything like that. I'm not holding them responsible for what their father has done. But at the same time, I'm not going to feel bad that my engagement party has been put off. Oh, whoa, there's only 200 people coming instead of 2,000. Oh, I'm not going to feel bad about all of that. Because while your engagement party may be screwed up, these girls' whole lives are screwed up. And I haven't heard a peep from anyone in the princesses' camps talking about we're going to reach out to them or we're going to see if they're good or anything like that. Nope. What has everybody done? They've closed ranks around the prince. He would never do that. He doesn't sweat. His fingers aren't that fat. He was at the pizza shop. Man, stop. Nobody believes any of that. All right, if you'd like to get in contact with me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. Let us hop into this article. Headline: Fergie defends ex-husband Prince Andrew amid Epstein scandal that's been hard for her and Princess Beatrice and Eugenie, and likens herself to Meghan Markle because she has been in her shoes and still is. Isn't that nice? I'm sure Meghan Markle will love that comparison. Sarah Ferguson has said the scandal engulfing her ex-husband Prince Andrew has been hard for her and their two daughters to deal with. If you think it's been hard on you, try walking a day in Virginia Roberts' shoes or Sarah Ransom's shoes. All right? You think it's hard on you? I have news for you, Ferg. Nobody feels sorry for you in your lavish lifestyle. Nobody feels bad for you, except the most ardent monarchists. Everybody else is laughing at you. Miss Ferguson insisted the Duke of York is the best man I know, and blasted the nonsense claims that surround him resulting from his friendship with pedophile billionaire Jeffrey Epstein. The nonsense claims that surround him? Again, no empathy for the girls, no understanding, just right to the mattresses, let's defend the prince, we're going down in the flaming ship with them, nobody's bailing out, nobody's looking for a life preserver, we're all going to the bottom with this sick, disgusting prince. Sounds like a fantastic strategy there, Fergsteins. And the former Duchess of York lent support to the current Duchess of Sussex, saying she knows how hard it is to be in the media spotlight, telling Vogue, I have been in Meghan's shoes, and I still am. Andrew's accuser, Virginia Roberts, alleges she slept with the Duke of York at Ghislaine Maxwell's home in London, in New York, and the U.S. Virgin Islands as a 17-year-old in 2001. While her claims were first made public in 2015 with the opening of U.S. court documents, the scandal worsened for the prince following his decision to clear the air with a BBC Newsnight interview. The Duke's claims during the program, including his inability to sweat and a trip to Pizza Express on the night his accuser says he slept with her, drew fierce criticism and ridicule. The fallout forcing him to step down from royal life. Andrew has always denied allegations and says he has no recollection of meeting Miss Roberts. Well, that picture tells a whole different story there, Prince. The email you sent to your sick, disgusting buddy, Ghislaine Maxwell, tells a whole different story there, Prince. Now, his former wife and longtime companion, Fergie, has told Vogue, the last 6 months have been hard on the girls and me. Yeah, how do you think the last 18, 19 years, 20 years, 25 years have been on some of these other girls? Nobody feels bad for you. Nobody feels bad for the princesses. At the end of the day, you guys are going to go and live your lavish lifestyles no matter what happens to Andrew. To see such a wonderful man go through such enormous pain, he is the best man I know. Well, you better get outside of your circle and meet some other men, because if that's the best man you know, you're failing at life, Fergie. It's just incredible what he has done for Britain, and it's all nonsense. So I talk about familyhood, and I'm very strong about it. What exactly has he done for England and Britain? What has he done? He's taken a bunch of lavish trips on the dime of the people. He's taken money from all sorts of shady characters. He's hung out with child molesters. He's hung out with people that procured girls for child molesters. He's hung out with arms dealers. What exactly has he done for the people of England that makes him such a great man, besides he was born with the same blood as the Queen? Asked about media coverage of the Duchess of Sussex, she added, "It must be hard for Meghan, and I can relate to her. I believe she is modern and fabulous. She was famous before." She went on, "I tend not to give advice because it is taken out of context, but I have been in Meghan's shoes, and I still am. There's always a twist of negativity, and it just gets so sad and tiring. It's hard and mean. I abhor bullying, and I feel desperately sorry for the pain they must be going through because I've been through it. Aw, what's the media mean to you, Fergie? What's the media mean to Prince Andrew? Oh, that must be so hard. How do you put your head down on your pillow at night and go to sleep? I mean, it must be so much easier to be Virginia Roberts. It must be so much easier to be Sarah Ransom or Maria Farmer. I'm sure when they put their heads down at night on the pillow, all they have to worry about is that the media has been mean to them. Give me a break. I mean, do you really think anyone really feels sorry for you, Fergie? Do you think anyone feels sorry for Prince Andrew, Scandrew Andrew, disgusting-ass Handsy Andy? Nobody feels bad for any of you. The scandal has already led to Andrew, 59, being forced to step back from his royal duties. His accuser, now 35, told Panorama they were introduced in 2001 when she was 17 after allegedly being trafficked to Britain on Epstein's private jet. Well, allegedly, we have a bunch of witnesses now. It's not even allegedly at this point. She was obviously in London, and she obviously went there with Epstein on the jet. So let's cut the alleged shit, all right? She said she was taken to a VIP area in Tramp nightclub in Mayfair, central London, where Andrew bought her vodka and asked her to dance. Miss Roberts, who claims Miss Maxwell recruited her to work as Epstein's masseuse when she was 15, said the socialite gave her instructions as they left. She said, "In the car, Ghislaine tells me that I have to do for Andrew what I do for Jeffrey, and that just made me sick." The married mother of 3 alleges she and Andrew had sex that night at Miss Maxwell's home in Belgravia. Sarah Ferguson's intervention comes after rumors her daughter Beatrice's wedding is being delayed to avoid the scandal overshadowing the event. "Aw, you have to push back your super fancy royal wedding. Aw, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you can't have a big lavish wedding." Well, unfortunately, your father's a scumbag, and there's repercussions for that. Why don't you have a wedding like everybody else? It doesn't have to be publicized. None of that nonsense. Go tie the knot with your husband in front of your family and friends and call it a day. Because guess what? The monarchy is a thing of the past. Certainly a thing of the past for people outside of England. And inside of England, well, I'm pretty sure you folks have had enough as well. All right? The English have been pushing it back against their monarchs forever, it seems like. Magna Carta ring a bell to anybody? Beatrice, 31, has been engaged to Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi since earlier this year, but has not yet set a date for the big day, with a source recently telling ET that the family is very disappointed, adding that Prince Andrew has embarrassed them. Yeah, that's the understatement of the day. Everyone right now is concerned about B. Oh, poor B. She deserves to have the wedding. She wants, and the public is going to go nuts, the source says. Nobody cares. Who's going to go nuts? Who's going to go nuts? The paparazzi wants her to have the wedding for sure so they can snap some shots of old Handsy Andy. That's for sure. But if you think the public at large really gives us a flying hell about Princess B's wedding, nobody cares. Let me tell you, okay? Let me explain to you. They do not care in Oregon. They do not care in Texas. They do not care in Arizona. We certainly do not care in Nevada. They don't care in Mississippi. They do not care in Florida. They do not care in North Dakota or South Dakota. They don't care in Timbuktu. Nobody cares about these stupid royal weddings besides a handful of people. Do you know what we care about? We care about the fact that your father allegedly assaulted this girl. We care that your father definitely hung out with a pedophile. We care that your father was involved in some shady shit. What we don't care about is your wedding, young lady. I am sorry, but that is the harsh truth. I don't wish you any ill. I hope you and your husband go on to have a great marriage that lasts for 100 years, but it's not going to be in the public light. You're going to have to do it like normal people, because at the end of the day, princess, here's a news flash for you. You are just a normal person like the rest of us. Today, Jeffrey Epstein, see, they use the word sex slave in this article, and after reading about how Virginia Roberts and the girls feel about that word, we're not going to use it anymore. So, I'm going to insert my own word here. Today, Jeffrey Epstein's abuse victim, Virginia Roberts, claims she has been informed by the FBI that a credible death threat has been made against her. Now, I want to stop there real quick because I want to interject something. And this, listen to me, folks. This is all conjecture on my part here, okay? I don't know anything about, I don't have any inside information about this. But could it be that Maxwell is perhaps in FBI custody and she's getting ready to spill the beans, and the credible death threat comes from her telling the FBI that there's a chance that Maxwell could get clipped? Now, again, folks, let me be clear. This is conjecture on my part. I have no evidence of that. It's just, at this point, we have to consider everything. The 36-year-old, who alleges she was trafficked to the UK to have sex with Prince Andrew, said, "In response to the overwhelming amount of support I have received, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who is standing up beside me, fighting for our children to have a safer future." That's all of you, folks. She's talking directly to you when she says that, because there's not a more ardent group of people that defend these girls than you folks. The emails I get are absolutely astonishing, how intelligent and how well together you people put your arguments when you send me these emails. I could not be happier with the interaction with you folks. I have been informed from the FBI there has been a credible death threat against me. It follows an alarming message she posted yesterday warning people that she was not suicidal and that evil people want to see me quieted. So it makes me think, a credible death threat, where could it be coming from? And one has to go back to think, like I said, with Maxwell, is she in custody? Does the FBI know where she is? Do they have her? Are they questioning her? Is she spilling the beans? Again, all conjecture on my part there, folks. No idea if that's really occurring, but it's kind of weird that all of a sudden there's a credible threat against Miss Roberts. Miss Roberts also said she had kept her doctors aware of her mental health status, so they should know that if she was harmed, it would not have been by her own hand. She wrote, "If something happens to me, in the sake of my family, do not let this go away, and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted." Well, one thing I could tell her is no matter what, we're seeing this through to the duration. All of us here at this podcast, we're all with you. We're all standing tall, shoulder to shoulder with you, and we will do whatever our little part is to make sure that this case moves forward. She posted the message in response to another user who suggested the FBI would try to kill her to protect the ultra-rich and well-connected. It comes after Epstein died in custody in the U.S. while awaiting trial. An official autopsy concluded he hanged himself, allegedly, despite persistent conspiracies and claims by high-profile pathologist Michael Baden that the evidence points to a homicide. You see how they try to slip that in there? Conspiracies and claims. And then they throw Michael Baden's name in there to discredit him? Once again, not saying that Michael Baden's the be-all, end-all, but what I want to point out is how the media conducts itself, how the media goes about their business, how the media tries to, slant the story for their own benefit. And that's exactly what they're doing right there. So at the end of this article, there is a timeline as well of Jeffrey Epstein and his meetings with the Duke of York since the 90s. I'll go over that one more time. So those of you who are just joining in, if you don't have the timeline yet, we'll read it right here and right now. 1990s. Andrew first meets Epstein, reportedly introduced through his friendship with Ghislaine Maxwell, the daughter of newspaper tycoon Robert Maxwell. Andrew welcomes Epstein to the Queen's private Scottish retreat in Aberdeenshire. Andrew later says he sees Epstein infrequently, adding probably no more than only once or twice a year. And we know that's bunk, because all of the evidence points to them hanging out a lot more than that. All of the evidence of the pictures on the wall at the Zorro Ranch, etc., etc. 2000. Andrew and Miss Maxwell are seen on holiday with Epstein at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago Club in Palm Beach, Florida. Epstein and Miss Maxwell attend a party at Windsor Castle, hosted by the Queen to mark Andrew's 40th birthday, the Princess Royal's 50th, the Queen Mother's 100th, and Princess Margaret's 70th. 2001. Virginia Roberts claims to have had sex with Andrew 3 times, including one orgy, with the first encounter allegedly taking place in Miss Maxwell's London townhouse. Miss Roberts claims to have had sex with Andrew on 2 more occasions, at Epstein's New York home and at an orgy on his private island in the Caribbean. 2008. Epstein admits prostituting minors and is sentenced to 18 months in prison. Boy, imagine if you got such a light sentence, 18 months in prison for prostituting minors. Oh boy, must be nice to be loaded. Must be nice to be on the top tier of the 2-tier justice system, folks. 2010. Epstein is released from jail. Andrew is photographed with the disgraced Epstein in New York City Central Park. Footage emerges years later, reportedly shot on December 6, 2010, showing him inside Epstein's Manhattan mansion, from where he is seen looking out from a large door of the property, waving a woman goodbye after Epstein leaves to get into a chauffeur-driven car. Boy, he sure was over there to break up with Epstein, huh? Stayed there for a few days, went on walks with them, hanging out with women, all sorts of dinners. Boy, it really must have been rough. Out of all the places the prince could have stayed, he chose Epstein's. Chew on that for a minute, folks. 2011. The Duke quits his role as UK trade envoy after the fallout from the Central Park photos. Now, mind you, it took 8 years for real movement to happen here. Those photos came out, and he just had to quit the one trade envoy spot. None of the other patronages, nothing else, no other punishment. Ask yourself, why? 2015. Buckingham Palace denies Andrew has committed any impropriety after he is named in U.S. court documents related to Epstein. A woman, later named in the report as Miss Roberts, alleges in papers filed in Florida that she was forced to have sex with Andrew when she was 17, which is under the age of consent in the state. At the World Economic Forum in Davos, Andrew, in his first public engagement since he was embroiled in the allegations, responds saying, "Firstly, I think I must, and I want, for the record, to refer to the events that have taken place in the last few weeks. I just wish to reiterate and to reaffirm the statements that have already been made on my behalf by Buckingham Palace." In April, the claims against Andrew were struck from U.S. civil court records following a federal judge's ruling. Yeah, I'm sure that the royals didn't exert any pressure there. And, of course, he has to, make it for the record that Buckingham Palace put out a statement on his behalf. Well, why don't you put a statement out on your own behalf, you big oaf, you big dum-dum, you big moron? In 2019, newly released legal documents show that Johanna Schuberg, another alleged Epstein victim, claimed Andrew touched her breast while sitting on a couch inside the U.S. billionaire's Manhattan apartment in 2001. Buckingham Palace said the allegations are categorically untrue. Epstein is found dead in his jail cell on August 10th, having killed himself after being charged with sex trafficking. Allegedly. Later that month, a pilot on Epstein's private jet claims Andrew was a passenger on past flights with the financier, pedophile, and Miss Roberts. The Sun newspaper reported that David Rogers said in testimony released in August that Epstein, Andrew, and the then 17-year-old traveled to the U.S. Virgin Islands on April 11, 2001. Buckingham Palace describes the evidence statement as having a number of inconsistencies and said that Andrew was on a different continent in some cases. Okay, show us the receipts. Show us the evidence of that, not just your word. We don't believe you. Following Epstein's death, a statement from the palace says that Andrew was appalled by the recent reports of Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes. Yeah, sure he is. He's appalled that he got caught up in it. Breaking his silence on the issue for the first time since 2015, Andrew then releases a statement on August 24th saying, "At no stage during the limited time I spent with Epstein," a limited time, "did I see, witness, or suspect any behavior of the sort that subsequently led to his arrest and conviction." On November 16th, the prince gave a disastrous BBC interview in which he spoke about this friendship with Epstein and addressed allegations of his own sexual conduct. He faced a barrage of criticism following his television appearance, with the royal accused of a lack of empathy with Epstein's victims. During the interview, Andrew, questioned by Newsnight presenter Emily Maitlis, twice stated his relationship with Epstein, who died in jail while facing sex trafficking charges, had some seriously beneficial outcomes. And again, that's what this is all about. The Duke thought he was getting a little something, so he's going to hang out with Epstein, get laid, and get some influence and power and some money to spread around his charity so he looks like the man? Hell yeah, count him in. All right. The Duke denied he slept with Virginia Roberts, one of Epstein's victims, on 3 separate occasions, twice while she was underage, saying one encounter in 2001 did not happen as he spent the day with his daughter Princess Beatrice, taking her to Pizza Express in Woking for a party. The day, But what about the night? We all know what happens at the night. The freaks come out at night. And that is exactly what Andrew is. And I don't mean a freak in a good way. I mean a freak as in a sick, depraved son of a bitch. The same alleged sexual liaison, which the American has said began with the royal sweating heavily as they danced at a London nightclub in Tramp, was factually wrong, as the Duke said he had a medical condition at the time, which meant he did not sweat. He cast doubt on the authenticity of a picture that appears to show Andrew with his arm around the waist of Miss Roberts when she was a teenager. All right, folks, and there that little last bit was a recap for those of you who are just joining us and weren't completely up to date, or for those of you who have been joining us and wanted a bit of a refresher course. There you have it. Now, the moral of this story today is that Fergie, again, is defending Prince Andrew, and I believe that she has some stuff to hide as well. Now, let's remember, it wasn't just Andrew who was hanging out with Epstein. Fergie also hung out with Epstein, and Epstein paid off some of Fergie's loans. So, of course, she's going to come out swinging, right? All right, folks, if you'd like to get in contact with me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. And remember, the year of 2020, this is the year, folks. This is the year that the predators turn into the prey. If you would like to support the show, you can do that in the description box by clicking on the link. And the actual article, like usual, will be in the description box as well for you to check out. I hope everybody has a great day. I will talk to you later on for the Daily Drop unless something occurs this afternoon that needs our coverage.